Hello, this is saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is a conversation in jazz, where we are promoting jazz through telling the stories. My guest today is a dynamic drummer, educator, band leader, and DJ, the one and only Mr. John Lamkin III. We ask you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon so we can let you know when we are posting another video or going live. We also ask you to donate to our Cash App in order to support the channel and help us to produce future videos. Our Cash App is $Jazzology 101. That's $Jazzology 101. Enjoy the video. Hi, I'm saxophonist Antonio Parker, and this is a conversation in jazz. Our guest today wears many hats in the world of music. Not only is he a dynamic drummer whose musical acumen covers a diverse array of styles and genres, but he is also an educator, band leader, and DJ. He has toured, performed, and recorded with many wonderful and renowned artists, including Donald Harrison, Najee, Michael Henderson, Kenny Garrett, Christian Scott, Warren Wolf, Chick Corea, Pharoah, Benny Golson, Lionel Hampton, Abbey Lincoln, and many others. He is also the featured drummer on my very own jazz CD, Stepping Out, live at HR 57. Please welcome my good brother and wonderful drummer and DJ, Mr. John Lamkin III.
What's happening, bro?
Lamp dog. How you doing, good brother?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here, bro.
We finally made it.
Right.
So this is a conversation in jazz, so we just having a little conversation, man.
Yeah, I'm with it.
I don't know where we met or how long, but it felt like I just always knew you.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing my CD, I'd say, John Lamkin.
Yeah.
So, you remember where we met?
No.
You know? I don't either. Yeah, but we've known each other for a minute.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Anyway, here's where we learn the story behind the story. Some things we may not know.
Okay.
You dig?
Yeah.
So, my first question is, who is John Lamkin III?
Man, it's crazy because I started life as a rap DJ, like cutting and scratching and all that kind of stuff. And man, hip hop just took over my life for a minute. I was making beats, making tracks and stuff like that. Then when I graduated from high school, I just wanted to leave. I was like, I either want to go to New York or go somewhere. So I just picked Berkeley. I was like, and so then we had, Berkeley, you had to make demo tapes and stuff like that. So I made demo tapes. I actually had Cyrus Chestnut on my demo tape. And so I sent it out. They gave me a decent scholarship. It wasn't full, you know what I mean? But they gave me a decent scholarship. And I went there, and next thing I know, everything just started, transpiring in Boston, man. It was crazy,
So who's John Lamkin III?
Well, I was trying to form the history.
We're gonna get into the history. Go.
But who am I? You pretty much said it. I mean, with the accolades and whatnot, and who I am. I mean, I'm just a humble cat trying to make stuff happen, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's who I am, man.
Got his hands in all the fires.
Just trying to make it happen, dog.
Now, for the people, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, come on, man. What's in the water in Baltimore? Every time I interview somebody from Baltimore, I got to ask, what's in the water in Baltimore? Man, y'all got some bad cats coming out of Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, it's, Baltimore, I mean, from hip-hop to R&B to straight-ahead jazz to smooth jazz. I mean, it's all there in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll go from Gary Bartz to Druid Hill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Druid Hill. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, man, we got a big array of of artists.
What part of B-more you from?
I'm from the West Baltimore, the county area, Baltimore County area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Did you come up in the hood?
No, I didn't come up in the hood. I You know, my parents, you know, they made sure we didn't come up in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
But you knew the hood.
But I was in the hood all the time.
I got
you know, because you had to be, you know what I mean? Like, you had to be in the hood now, you know, and a lot of stuff was learned being in the hood.
No doubt,
you know what I'm saying?
about
So yeah.
So what was it like coming up for you?
You know, coming up for me, you know, like I was saying, like, hip hop definitely was where I wanted to be. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And then one day, you know, when I left to go to Boston, came back, and I was showing my father all this hip hop stuff I was doing. He was like, "Man, I want to hear some jazz, man. I got you up there. You doing hip hop? You could stay home, do hip hop, man. You do some jazz."
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So then that's when. Next thing I know, I'm like in Bill Pierce's Art Blakey ensemble.
Wow,
You know, I'm like, wow. You know, I started really, you know, really trying to play jazz when I hit Boston. You know what I mean? Yep. And
Wow,
then, and that's when I really got into playing jazz. Back then in Boston, man, at Berkeley, man, they had a whole library where you can just go and sit down and just listen and check out all kind of music, bro.
Really? Wow.
That was crazy. You know what I mean? So that's where
We're
it all
gonna get into
started.
some of that hip hop stuff. You know, but I want to. Now I know you come from a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
Your pops, the great trumpeter and educator, Dr. John Lamkin II.
Yeah.
What I didn't know was that your mother, Miss Eartha Lamkin, is also a music educator and singer.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah.
Can you tell the people a little about your parents and the impact they had on you?
Oh yeah, for sure,
as a
man.
developing person and musician.
Pops would, now we talk about being in the hood in Baltimore.
Okay.
Pops would have us in the hood in Baltimore. There'd be Club 1818, Wall Street Lounge, Sportsman Lounge.
So he took y'all to
All of those were in the hood.
Yeah.
And I would be in there until like 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the morning.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, especially 1818, because like Wall Street was across the street. Then you had to go to 1818, walk up the steps, and we would be there. That wouldn't close until 2 or 3 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would just be playing. It'd be like Warren's dad,
Yeah.
Warren Wolf, vibraphonist. His father would be up in there playing, and man, they would be there for hours, man. And we would just.
I remember the Sportsman's Lounge. When I first got to DC, me and Dante Winslow.
Yeah.
We used to play at the Sportsman, man. So
Yeah.
I used to play in Baltimore a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's probably where we met. You know what I
Really?
mean? Like coming
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
and I would always go to Sportsman on
Yeah,
Monday
yeah,
nights. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Always. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
What about your moms?
Mom's was a vocalist. She passed a couple years ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
sorry,
Mom's
man.
passed
Yeah.
a couple years ago, but she was a vocalist, singing on everything she could sing on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I love my moms, man.
No doubt.
Yeah, it was.
So you came up basically in a musical environment.
Oh, definitely. Because they had a band together. My parents had a band called Chain Reaction, and they were always out singing, playing somewhere. You know what I mean? They were always doing their thing.
You have siblings?
Yeah, my brother and my sister. One brother, one sister.
Are they in the music too?
They were, but they didn't stay in it like.
So
I
your
did.
dad did the same thing for them that he did for you?
Yeah.
So
he
was around?
tried, but
he tried. I got you.
They was like, yeah, I think my sister, brother, they're like, I'm gonna do a little detour, so they detoured and went other directions,
So what was your first musical instrument?
My first musical instrument was the drums, actually.
Really?
My father actually, Pops, he tried to get me to play the trumpet. I was like, man, they hurt my lips, man. Can't kiss no chicks. Ain't nobody. Man, you got that little hard thing right there, man. I ain't trying to kiss nobody with that. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think it's an advantage having a father as an accomplished musician, or do you feel like you always like in the shadow and I got to live up to this? Some people got to have that kind of thing.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because, I mean, when I first started, I was cutting and scratching.
Okay.
I was literally doing DJ battles.
So you playing the drums was just something to do?
Yeah, pretty much. So, and my father was trying to get me to play trumpet. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to play no trumpet. So I gravitated to the drums. Now, like I said, my dad had he had a band all the time. I mean, we would have cats like Dennis Chambers at my house.
Really?
Oh yeah. Dennis would be at the house rehearsing with my father's band.
Wow.
He was in my dad's band. Him and another guy named George Gray and a couple other cats, man. They would be at the house, man, just shedding.
Warren Shad his dad was a musician. He used to have people at the house. Like he told me some kind of story, and they would just be over there playing.
Yeah, Gary Thomas.
Really?
Gary Thomas on my father's record. Yeah, so they would be at the house shedding, and my father always had a gig. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I mean, these cats would literally.
And you would see them as you were coming up as a youngster.
Yes. Wow. And something about the way Dennis would play the drums, I was just like, damn. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I mean, I started seeing. I'm like, oh, you know what? If I'm gonna play an instrument, I'm gonna play some drums. You know? Yeah. And that's what I did.
So what? And how old were you when you started?
Well, I always go back to when I saw this book my grandmother gave me. It had to be 1970, let me see, 70, 76, 74, or 75. 72 was when I was born, so 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it had to be like 74, 75. 75, I think I was like 4 years old, or 5 years old, something like that. Mm-hmm. And I saw the book, and in the book, it's a drum book that my grandmother gave me, and it has to my grandson. So I always say, all right, that's when I started. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because she actually gave me a drum book.
So were you taking private lessons, or were you just banging on stuff?
It started on pots and pans.
You playing on pots and pans?
Hell yeah.
Every drummer that I talked to, they said I was banging on pots and pans.
Yeah, it started on
So you
pots
always had
and
an inclination for rhythm?
Right. It started on pots and pans, just grabbing the spatulas and hitting stuff and just going for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it was.
I noticed, so you didn't study formally?
No.
Mm-mm. Wow. That's
not until I got to Berkeley. I mean, then when I got to Berkeley, I got in front of Ron Savage. I got in front of John. There's another drummer, John Ramsey. Uh-huh. He was a teacher there, and both of them, accomplished cats at the time. So they really got my hands together and got me, together. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I noticed also that you're a left-handed drummer.
Yes. My dad.
My dad. Your dad?
My dad did that.
What do you mean your dad did that?
Well, I mean, like, I would jump on the drums, and everybody's drum kit was right-handed. Like, they would come over to the house, they would play right-handed. Mm-hmm. And my father was like, well, if he's going to play drums and he's left-handed, he's going to play left.
Gotcha.
And so he did that. And I was just like, and as a youngin', I was like, yeah, I'm going to play left. You know what I mean? Like, not knowing that, man, you should actually play right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so I just made a career out of it.
Is that a problem when you go study with somebody?
No. Okay. Actually, when I study or I teach kids, it's actually real cool, because if I put two drums together, it looks like you're looking in the mirror.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? If I was a right-handed drummer and I got a right-handed student, the hi-hat is going to be on the opposite side.
You mean teaching online?
Not just teaching online, but like for a long time, for about 18 years, I taught in person.
Okay.
So what happens is when you put the two drum sets together, it looks like you're looking in the mirror.
Gotcha. Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I'm left-handed.
And so
So it was very easy to teach that way. Gotcha. So all I would do, even when I would do rudiments, I would just stand when we're in front of each other and we're going right, left. It's like
really. Oh wow.
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like you're being in the mirror.
Yeah. Now, did you play any other instruments besides turntables?
Not really. I mean, I touched the piano. You know what I mean? Just enough to, the basic stuff to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing crazy, nothing like that.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And you didn't play in school?
Yeah, I played in high school jazz band, high school.
You
marching
playing drums?
Band. Yeah, okay. Definitely. Okay. High school marching band at Woodlawn High School. I went to Woodlawn High School.
Would you go to elementary and middle school?
Elementary was a school around my way called Canfield Elementary, and then we busted all the way up to Pikesville Middle School, and then back down to Woodlawn High School. And Woodlawn is on the west, like over there by, not around, like literally around the corner, you got Edmondson High School, which is just, and a lot of them kids from Edmondson would come over to Woodlawn when they got in trouble in the city school. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You get a second chance in the county.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Mm-hmm. So did you have any intention of being a drummer, like when you were prior to going to college? Like, did you have any intention of doing this as a career?
Not really. You know what I mean? Because I was really into cutting and scratching, man. I was really into that.
That's
you know what I mean? I was really into cutting and scratching. Like I got some videos where I think I probably was the first DJ at Berkeley. You know what I mean? Like, well,
really?
I'm up there cutting and scratching at the party. We would do like they would do these shows, right? And it'd be like a full band, and I'm over there cutting and scratching with the band, running backgrounds, doing all kind of stuff.
Wow!
And they got a full band going on. Oh, man, it was a lot of fun back then. I ain't even gonna lie.
Why did they hire you to do DJ?
And I was good. Period. I was good.
I got you.
I was good. You know what I'm saying? That boy had
so they
some
should have.
skills.
Yeah, they should have
know what I'm
hired you. Yeah.
I was good. You know what I mean?
You hear that, Berkeley?
I was good. Yeah.
Was there? So did you like playing drums?
I love playing drums.
Was there a teacher, particularly other than your father or your parents, that during your high school years that really influenced you or had it?
I didn't really per se had a teacher. I sat and studied with a few people, but most of the learning and the knowledge was actually just going and listening to cats. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my father would always have a band. Like he was always touring. So you had Dennis, you had a guy named George Gray, you had a dude named Bobby Rux. You had there was a ton. Oh man, bro, I can go on a list of the cats that would be playing around town. That just Bobby Ward. There was a drummer in Baltimore named Bobby Ward, dude. I mean, he was like the Black Buddy Rich. You know what I mean? That cat was amazing.
So Baltimore was a good environment coming up, you being around all the cats?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I had that same kind of thing in Philly.
Yeah.
Bootsy Barnes, and I see them cats, man. Mm-hmm. I got to see Hank Mobley.
Yeah.
At the because back in the day, they seem older.
Yeah.
They're like our age.
Yeah.
They probably was a little younger than us at the time, but they were running the jam sessions and stuff.
Yeah.
And as your kid, you just go and you might sit in on one song, or or you just go listen, that type of thing. So,
right.
Baltimore reminds me of that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We had that in Philly as well.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Did music come easy for you?
What you mean when you say that? Did it come easy?
Were you able to pick things up quickly?
Yeah, I mean,
do you read and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like when you say did it come easy, you mean
man, believe it or not, some people can't hear.
Yeah. Oh.
Some people can't read.
I got you now. So I mean, I'm being in the DJ, being a DJ, mm-hmm. I'm constantly grabbing record on top of records. So I'm constantly listening to music. You know what I mean? Yeah. So after a while, you start hearing stuff that happens on this record, Changes are the same, keys the same, tempos are the same. Oh, okay, this tempo might be different than this tempo, but you hear it all. You know what I mean? And when being a DJ, I can hear all of that. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you, if I can hear a song from this generation and go, oh, this will work well with this song from here, and then I can put it together and be like, oh.
So do you listen to hip hop the same way you listen to jazz?
Oh yeah,
the same?
Definitely.
So when you listen to music, how do you process? Are you are you listening to everything separately, or you synthesizing everything? Are you you hear it all together, or you listen to form?
It's all kind of relevant. It's all kind of the same in a sense. I mean, there is a form to it. So it's like, okay, all right. Once you hear it, it's like, all right, now where do I go with it? You know what I mean? Or what I'm going to do with it. But now this is a deep question because when it comes, I've always said, I feel like, I don't even know how to say this. When it comes to straight ahead jazz, I always felt like straight ahead jazz hasn't evolved.
Really?
Oh, watch for now. See, I knew you was gonna do that. All right, now this is now.
Come on, break that down for me.
Now listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Now you just compared hip hop and jazz. Yeah. You spoke about hip hop and jazz. Now, when you think about straight ahead jazz, right? it hasn't changed forever. Like, think about it. Think about how they played in 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, and think how they play now. They still recording with upright bass, mic to the wood, drums, light cymbals, very high timbre drums, boom boom bass drums, piano, basic piano. It's the same. The whoever's playing the melody, saxophone might take the solo, might play a couple chords, bass, then you got the bass solo, then they might trade. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same, right? Okay. But let's look at hip hop. You're not gonna come out in 2025 sounding like Curtis Blow, will you?
No.
Exactly. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, you're not gonna come out sounding like Sugar Hill Gang.
Now I gotta push back on you.
You feel what I'm saying?
I gotta push back on you.
Okay.
Now, because I've seen you do a thing called 20 or 50 something years of hip hop.
Yeah, the drum beats.
You go all the way back.
Yeah.
And get all that early stuff.
Right.
Because that has some relevance to whatever you hearing today.
Correct.
And so that's the kind of, to me that's similar.
Right.
Because you got to go, a lot of these young cats need to go back.
That's true.
Like we do in jazz.
That's true.
You did?
That's true.
And to me that'll give you a better appreciation for the evolution.
Right.
You know, and I don't think everything always got to evolve. It's like, you know, maybe it does. I don't think it happens naturally. I think in jazz we have this thing like we always got to find some new stuff. Like I enjoy the old stuff. Like
I'm not saying I don't enjoy it.
Okay.
I'm saying I haven't really heard a huge change in it. Like it's the same sound.
Yeah.
If you think about 2025 right now, hip hop versus 1990.
Yeah.
The beat is different. The way they vibe is different.
Yeah. I think that's.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's more cultural because the kids ain't the same as we were.
Right.
And it's also part of the music industry because they always got to have something. The music industry always got to have something new. And unfortunately, jazz is not that part of the industry like it used to be. You know, I remember when they cut the jazz labels and all that.
Yeah.
So jazz is when, I think it's been around longer, so it's went into the education vein. Where now, it's kind of evolved into education because there is there's an art to the process of improvisation,
right? Definitely.
Which is what we say jazz is. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about in terms of
the sound.
But jazz is the sound, like, you know, swing, bebop, and all this, and I mean, where else can you go after Train and Kenny Garrett, and you know. So I get what you're saying, but I think that over time things evolve in different ways. So I think it's more so
institutional thing.
Yeah, it's become that, and it's just that hip hop hasn't been around long enough. See, hip hop, we started. Matter of fact, hold on.
Oh Lord,
that's why I brought this here.
Oh Lord,
you remember the first hip hop song you heard?
That I heard.
What's the first hit? Well, I could tell you back in Philly. Was the first hip hop jump?
Now there's some now
you a DJ.
When it comes to Philly hip hop, like
what's considered
the first one that I heard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what would you consider the first song that started hip hop?
The first song. Now we're not talking about Philly, or we just talking about hip hop.
And for you, I'm gonna tell you what it was for Philly.
The first song that started hip hop for me had to be, actually it was cast from Philly. There was this one dude, I can't think of his name, but his rhyme went like, every morning I wake up, I eat my Captain Crunch. The same thing for dinner and the same for lunch. And he was definitely a Philly rapper. And then the first gangster rap I heard was from Philly again. Got PSK making that green. People always say, "What the hell does that mean?" That was Philly. You know what I mean?
See, I'm going now. Come on, girl.
What you got?
Check this. Hold on. We gotta. I know you going back. I know you know this here.
The red and the horse. That's 1979.
Yes. I'm probably in 4th grade or something. whatever.
Yeah.
And see, the youngins need to know this.
Yeah, of course.
This is the history. That's like us going back and listening to Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Hey man, I still. Hey, let me tell you another thing. Now it might sound for the young cats, it might sound corny as heck. All get up right, because they compare it to what they hear today. But when that thing came out back in the day, it was so new. Yeah. It was so new. Yeah, that was our first. I thought everything came after that. I mean, you know, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah,
Rock
but
Him.
see, I was 7 years old when that came out.
Okay,
so for me, like when hip hop,
you didn't hear that when that came out?
No, I didn't hear that. I probably did. Okay, you know what I mean, but I was 7. Okay. My first one was like what I just rapped to you. You know what I mean? Those old school cats like that.
Man, let me like something on you, bro.
Now, here we go.
Now, back in the day, I'm gonna tell the young people, we used to do house parties. Did y'all do house parties in B-More?
Of course. Of course.
It was 2 songs that when we did house parties that got them people bop.
Which one?
Let me see if you heard this before. Let me see. Let me see if you
You see how everybody around the nation, I'm gonna give you some inspiration,
Oh, I haven't heard this. That's good.
My obligation to set you on a little vacation, but you don't need a reservation, cause now I need your cooperation. Without to know a hesitation, cause I got the key. My reputation, see I go by the name of R.C. La Rock. I rock your body around the clock. I like a tick-a-tick-a-tock, tick-a-tick-tick-tock, a tick-a-tick-a-tock around the clock. And
I've never heard this.
I got more rhymes than Wall Street. I got stock, y'all. Yes, I do, y'all. You see now when I rock, I make your ears explode.
Hold on. He said, I got more rhymes than Wall. He said, I got more rhymes than Wall Street. I got stock. Did you hear that?
I don't hear words. I just hear that beat and I hear the.
He was flowing on there.
Man, that joint go on for like 10 minutes, and it just gets. If you know, we can't play it here, but man, that joint used to get us rocking. Man.
I don't remember. I don't think
I'm gonna send that to you, but that's R.C. La Rock. Yeah, and this
I know Tila Rock. I don't know R.C. La Rock.
Yeah, man.
Never heard
and
that
this,
one.
And then this. Let me see.
You actually got one on me.
Let me see if you know this one. Let me see. I know you know this one. It's another one that had us bopping. Let me see. All right. We on YouTube, y'all, so be patient. Bear with me. Okay, here we go. Check this out.
The show.
Yeah. That show was
1985.
Excuse me,
yes. Have you ever been told that kids on the mic, man? They don't come out right. They bite. They never right. That's not polite.
Yes, sir. So let me ask you this.
You're about to hear.
Going back to what you said. Now I get you.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna put out nothing. The young cats ain't gonna put out nothing like that. But to be able to appreciate it and to get something from it. Yeah. Like my son, he does beats and rap. He in the new stuff. Yeah. And I try to get him. I say, man, go back and listen to this stuff where it came from.
Right.
So that you can have it. The innovation may come from you saying, here, take a little bit of that and put it over there.
Right. Right.
And I know I gotta hit one more for you.
Okay.
Gotta hit one more for you. I was in college when this came out. These to me, these are classics.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me see. I know you know this joke.
That's a fact.
Come on.
90s right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What the fool said? Bum, sticky, bum. I know that I'm
hyping up Pinocchio's nose, cause I'm a supercalifragilistic. I gave a oops, daisy. Now you got the crazy with the books. Go through the where's the baby? So 1, 2, buckle my shoe, yabba do, hibbity hoo, crack a booze, a trick or treat. Tell my feet, tell my tippity drop the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So, hey, man, listen. So I go back to that to the hip hop, Sugar Hill gang.
Yeah.
And so,
but see, I would have said, I was getting ready to say that, but you said Philly sound. And Sugar Hill is from that's New York. New York.
But that's
you
the first
Philly.
On the radio, that was the first thing we heard, and it was so different.
Yeah, it was completely different
than what they were playing on the radio at the time.
Right.
And that it was like open up, and then all of a sudden, all these start just evolving.
Yeah.
So I think we're from the same generation. We the X generation, right?
Well, it's crazy because let's go back to jazz real quick. I came up in that whole Young Lion movement. Remember when they decided they wanted to open up? They wanted to open up the vaults and sign all these Young Lion cats and all this stuff. And it's crazy because Donald Harrison had got a deal on that Impulse label, and so. Then they took a compilation. They took compilations from all those records, and they made compilation CDs, and they called it the Young Lion, whatever. Wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're on like records. You got Christian McBride on there. You got Donald on there with us because we were always like me and Vicente Archer, just young cats on the records, and they called it the whole Young Lion movement.
Wow.
So we was really trying to make some stuff happen. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, it was so deep. I'm gonna tell you, man, it was deep about hip hop, and it's probably the same that happened with jazz. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, and we talking to the young folks because they got to get some of this history. So when I came up in Philly, we had a black community. So we was in the hood, but it wasn't all that killing and stuff until the late '80s. So we was able to. I came up in the '70s and the early '80s before I went to school, but we came up and like I got to see rap evolve like in the community before it was because they wasn't playing it really. It wasn't like the popular music at the time, when it started, but it was for us. We used to do rap battles. You know what I'm saying? People you was on the wheels of steel. You know what I'm saying? And then you waiting. I remember LL Can't Survive Without My Radio, and so we came up, man. Like it was evolving as we were evolving. But the funny thing is, I'm here trying to check out. I'm here into Bird, trying to get this Bird Grover. But I was also able to feel this hip hop stuff on a certain level. I couldn't go so. At a certain point, I had to focus on this jazz thing.
Right.
And I got, and I kind of, I think when I got to college, I was just all in. But it was deep because in the black community, we validated the music because it wasn't validated by the wider audience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We would have at the house party, somebody's house you go and people pay to get in, with $3 or $4, whatever it costs to get in. And you go out and you go and remember back in the day when they did house parties, they did slow jams.
Oh yeah, we had the little red light thing.
And you get a chick and you do slow jams.
Yeah. Wait, let me take you somewhere else. Okay, so now let's go back to jazz.
Okay.
All right. Now, I've been in different arenas. Like I used to play with jazz. Not jazz. I used to play with a vocalist named John B. And slightly before that, I toured with Kenny Garrett and Donald Harrison.
Yeah.
The vibe of going from straight ahead jazz to an R&B gig is two different worlds completely.
Yeah.
So like when I'm at a jazz concert, right, or I'm playing for a jazz concert, like for some reason, man, it's like the folks there are how can I say this? Like getting,
I don't say it's not the same energy. It's like you going to they watching a movie. Yeah.
It's like they watching.
But I think there's a place in society for high art aesthetic. Not that hip hop. See, music is used for entertainment, partying, and all that. I think but I also think there's a place like you go in a museum, you see art, not that jazz should be in a museum, but to be able to appreciate like deep, like higher aesthetics, like like music. I tell my kids I teach music ain't always just for dancing, because they think it's just for dancing and all that. But to listen, there's some spiritual, like some people hear some Train and Love Supreme, and it does something for them spiritually. And just for me, I don't know. As a kid, man, I heard Bird. I wasn't just listening to the music. I was listening to his soul, like the way he played the sound.
Yeah.
And I was fascinated by the virtuosity. So everybody's listening for these different things. And so now when I hear Cat, like when I heard at the Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival, Chris Potter. And when I hear people like him and Joshua Redman, man, I'm just fascinated by their command of
the instrument.
Not just the instrument, but the music, the whole tradition. And so I think that I'm not just there to be entertained, but I'm actually like getting some, me, just personally, I'm
but
getting.
see, you also speaking from a musician standpoint.
Yeah, but I was like this as a kid. And as a kid, you didn't realize you had that musician. But the average listener. Yeah.
How do we get them to enjoy jazz? How do we get the average person?
First, the musician got to enjoy jazz. They be looking all serious and like that.
Bruh. They don't move on stage. They stand all still. They play the instrument and stand off to the corner, be looking like this. I'll be like, bruh, smile. Dog, you know what I mean? You the front man, smile, dog.
And then I don't compare. I kind of just appreciate this for this, that for that. And, I like contemporary jazz. Gerald Albright.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Grover.
Najee.
I love that, man. I mean, I don't compare it to Oop Bop Shabam. Yeah. I just accept it makes me feel this way, When we was just listening to that, and we was I mean, so all these different shades of spectrums that you can go into. So now I think another thing you might be alluding to, I don't know, you might make more money with the you know what I'm saying?
Oh heck yeah. Yo, yes. Dog, man, let me tell you something, man. Like, bruh, I used to tour with Benny Golson all the way up until he decided to retire. And I missed that. I called him Uncle Benny. That was my man. You know what I mean? But it was a huge difference. Yeah, huge difference. And the way we dressed, the way we looked. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like. I mean, John B. literally had when we would go to play, John had a whole wardrobe section. And we go pick whatever we want and get to keep all of that stuff.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Had to get to keep
another thing I think that's different with jazz, because it's an academic thing, is that those R&B cats are individuals. John B. is John B. He got his own swag, his own style, and jazz cats be trying to. I tell you got to have some personality. Like, I can't play all the changes, but I'm gonna be Tony P.
Yeah. Now we're talking about entertainment.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just being myself. Yeah.
It's one thing to be able to play, but it's a second thing to be an entertainer.
Yeah.
Christian McBride is an entertainer. Yeah. Like, he can play his but he's also entertaining. He's smiling. He's just
he's special. He's just got some.
When he's on stage, I mean, the way he talks, he makes people laugh in between the songs. I mean, he's an entertainer. Yeah. He's an entertainer. But then there's some cats that's just boring. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I'm gonna give you this one. Sometimes when we play, it's about service. It ain't about what we can get from it.
Right.
Sometimes, I mean, when you shed and you do, but sometimes, as I get older, I'm saying, okay, you don't know how you making somebody else feel,
Right.
like how you know. And it's hard to see that in jazz because they just sitting. They sitting back. You don't know if they're maybe enjoying it, but they come up to you at the end and they'll tell you, "Oh man,
it was great. It was wonderful."
It's a challenge, man. I'm at a point I kind of want to. I think I like how Kenny does it. Kenny Garrett, because he does this. He can go there, let you know. We can do that, and then he can go into the stuff that's some feel good music. And that's I like that.
It's almost like Kenny's first couple of songs. It's like I'm gonna let you know. That I can play this instrument. And then when we get into the grooves, it's like everybody in the club is like, I mean, you like to see people smiling. I get it, man. But I also like this. There was a time, like there was an intellectual, and I think Bird and them wanted. Believe it or not, those cats wanted jazz to be taken seriously, like classical music. It's funny that we now want to go back to, because just entertainment. Bird and them wanted their music, and I think that's why they kind of. Did the bebop thing. But that's the thing that got me, because when it first came out, like all the big time ragtime music, all the big bands, they would come and it would be a party.
Louis Jordan.
It was a party. How did we get from a party to now this small quartet and you have to actually be quiet and listen to these folks?
Well, I think,
not saying it's...
Well, I think at the time they wanted jazz to be seen on par with European classical music, to take it as serious, because we were playing in clubs, but they get to play in the halls and so they wanted to. I think that it was a time when jazz, they wanted to be on that kind of stage, to be where people come dressed in their best and put on a concert, and it's become that. And I think we gotten away from. Howdy.
And I'll be honest, to me that's not a sellout. You know what I mean? Like that howdy ho and all that doesn't sell out to me. When I listen to that and I see them old videos and them people partying, and some of the dance moves that they was doing, where they flipping the women up and all, I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? Like that ain't selling out, bro. That's just having a good old fashioned time.
I embrace all of it.
Exactly.
I like to go in and sit down and I like and I like to lay back. I like it all. As long as it's a peaceful environment and everybody enjoying themselves.
But see, here again, you're talking from a musician standpoint. See, like the average listener is not going. They just won't. They
That's what my job as an educator also comes in, because I have to teach kids that music. In African cultures, music has certain different functions. It's not, we use music not just for entertainment. That's one aspect of it.
Right.
Some people use it for healing. Some people, we use it for worship and all kinds of things. But there's an intellectual component as a musician, I guess. That maybe musicians do play for themselves. So other musicians, so all of that is part of it, but I don't want to get rid of the baby with the bathwater. Just for the sake of trying to entertain. I think we need all of it, man. And then sometimes as you get older, man, I go back, I listen to some Nat King Cole, because it's simple and it incites my imagination.
Well, when it comes to vocalists, jazz vocals, that will never die. Jazz vocals, but instrumental vocalists, that's the hard. That's you know what I mean. That's the hard section. But jazz vocalists, oh man, that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game.
So I want to go back to your DJing.
Sure.
Okay, I read a quote where you say, as a versatile DJ, I am proficient in a variety of musical genres.
Right.
Additionally, my skills on the drums allow me to bring a unique and dynamic element to any performance across different styles of music.
Correct.
So how does being a drummer impact your DJing?
Well, I mean, because now I'm able to, like a lot of, there's DJs, they don't, not all of them, but a nice handful of them only know a certain style of music. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Only know young cats only know what's happening today.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you have a larger kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, definitely,
gotcha.
definitely.
Okay.
Like, man, I've literally mixed. Like, I can mix. If I know that beat, if I know that tempo, if I know that BPM, I can mix a John Coltrane song with a hip hop track.
Really? Wow.
Bro, don't play with me.
Wow.
Don't play with me.
I saw you scratch your stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is that a rhythmic thing when you do that?
All
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
16th notes, triplets.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
You know, all of that's in there.
Oh, wow.
Syncopation,
That's what's up, man.
rhythms, all of that.
Okay. Now, what is your what is the drum break Friday?
Drum break Fridays? Oh
Yeah.
man. So what I do is I just go back and I grab, well, there's a lot of drummers who will just take a song and play the beat to the song. So you hear the song in the back and you hear them playing the beat. Well, what I did with Drum Break Friday, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play the beat. And you name the song from the beat.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
That'd be hard to.
Actually, you'd be surprised because, like there are a lot of songs that are beat heavy, meaning that the beat is the reason why that song is there. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like it's like, for instance, Real Love, Mary J. Blige. I just threw that out there. Like when you hear that, it's like
you know it's from that song. Yeah.
you know it's from that song, and you also know if you're old enough, you'll know it's from Top Billin'. You
Okay.
see what I mean? So you'll know exactly where that comes from.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are hip hop tracks.
So you do
like
that every Friday?
Yeah, I try to do it every Friday.
Got you. I got you. I get you can't.
It ain't the easiest thing to do every Friday, but yeah, I've been doing it though.
Wow. I saw a clip of you doing something with the legendary hip hop pioneer Rakim.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh man! So we called his management company to do. I DJ every year the Juneteenth festival in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
So it was 50 years of hip hop, and I was like, man, we need to get somebody for 50 years of hip hop. So I called this young brother that has done some work with him at Peabody. His name is Wendell Patrick. So I emailed him or I texted him, and he got me in touch with Rakim's people. Wow. And I was able to get Rakim's people to the concert.
Wow.
Right? And so, man, when I say that show was amazing.
Wow.
That show was amazing.
Wow.
Like, you know, to have somebody like Rakim in your backyard.
That must have been something, man. Yeah, that must have been something, man. Now, did anyone, like, you know, in jazz we have influences. Did anyone influence you as a DJ, or you just create your own?
Yeah, man. Jazzy Jeff all day.
Really?
Philly.
Okay, yeah.
Jazzy Jeff, DJ Scratch. Oh, man, Muggs from Cypress Hill.
Okay.
Oh, man, DJ Qbert.
Are you still passionate about DJing?
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah. That will never die.
Okay.
Just like playing jazz, playing funk and R&B, they will never die. I mean, like, I was born and raised off of straight ahead jazz.
You make
know
good money in DJ?
Oh, heck yeah. Definitely. You'd be surprised, man. Man, I mean, yeah, dog.
Cause you eating?
All day.
Oh, man. Let's get back to the jazz. Does drumming require a different skill set than when you're playing hip hop, R&B, or funk?
Yes.
How so?
It's a
Does jazz drum?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Does jazz drum is it? You basically asking me, is it different than playing the other genres?
Yeah,
it's definitely different.
Okay,
because I know a lot of jazz cats that cannot play a pocket or a funk beat to save their life. You know what I mean? They don't know how to flip the pocket.
Gotcha.
You know, like in jazz, everything is heavy on the 2 and 4. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry. In jazz, everything is heavy on the 2 and 4 and you got that swing in between. And in the pocket is heavy on 2 and 4 too. Especially when, that's why they call it pocket, because it's 2 and 4. Mm-hmm. But if you don't listen to that, if it's something that you don't listen to, you're just not gonna get it. Yeah. You're not gonna understand it. You're not gonna know how to.
How'd you get your jazz thing? Did what came easier? Was the R&B and hip hop stuff easier for you to get grasp, or was the swing?
Ooh, I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know. Like, I mean, because while I was at Berkeley, man, I don't know. That's a question. I don't know if one was easier versus the other. Once I started.
So they all feel natural to you?
Yeah.
Really?
It feels natural to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which one is more fun to play? Like, which paying the most?
No. They're all fun to play. You know what I mean? Especially in jazz, it's fun when I'm playing with musicians that I have fun playing with.
Gotcha, yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed my time with Don Harrison.
Yeah.
I'm on like 8 of his records. I mean, I enjoyed my time with Kenny Garrett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean? I enjoyed my time with Darren Barrett. I'm on like 2 or 3 of his records.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
man, you in there, man.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed my time. Yeah. So, and I enjoyed the musicians I play with. You know what I mean? Nowadays, if you call me to play some jazz, first of all, you call me to play some jazz. If I don't know your name, and if I do know your name, my next question is, who else on the gig? Yeah. And if it's some names that I don't know, or I'm not feeling, bro, I don't think I can make that happen. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think I can make that happen. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. I mean,
it's one of those things. If it's done at a high level, it's nothing like it.
Because at that point, it doesn't even matter how much the gig is paying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that I know that. Oh, what's the name on the gig? Oh, this person. Yeah. I know I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna enjoy my time, not just playing, but in my time hanging out with these cats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes the cats will just call you and you be like,
Do you get more jazz gigs or do you get more like R&B?
I get more, at this point in my life, get more R&B, pop gigs. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All day.
That's what's up, man.
Mm-hmm.
When you start gigging, like, were you gigging around Baltimore when you was coming?
Yes, my dad had me playing in his bands. Okay. And it's funny because I had to beg him, like, like he would do the gigs, and I used to be like, Dad, I can play these songs. Come on, Pops, So at one point, Pops gave me my first DJ gig. So he gave me my first DJ gig. There was something, I can't remember what it was, some kind of function, and they wanted a DJ, and they asked my father, you know any DJ? And my father said, yeah, my son DJ. So my pops got me my first DJ gig.
That's what's up.
Had the band, so it was a band. So when the band took a break, and I DJ, then they had me rock the party at the last hour of the show.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So Pops did that. Then I got a little greedy. I was like, Dad, I can DJ and play drums. What's up? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But isn't that a lot? I was like, yeah, but Pops is all in the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I started doubling the money, you know what I mean? Because I was getting paid as the drummer and the DJ, you know what I mean?
That's
all because of my Pops, you know what I mean? But he would only do that when the cats that he wanted to play wasn't able to make the gig.
Gotcha,
you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So yeah.
You say you went to Berkeley. Mm-hmm. What made you choose Berkeley?
I just picked it.
Really? Who was at Berkeley when you were there?
At the time? You mean as far as musicians or as far as the teachers?
Like the musicians. Were you there with Tony Hart? Antonio Hart?
He was there before me.
Okay.
Like he was still living in Boston. But now I'm gonna tell you, man, Antonio, when I really got serious about playing jazz, Antonio Hart was one of the biggest, influences in my life at that time.
Wow.
He would go, "Come on, Lamkin, meet me in the practice room." I was like, oh. I go in the practice room, he sit down, I was like, all right, man, go ahead and swing. I'm like, He's like, man, get that cymbal up, man. Come on, man. I was like, oh, God. And he would just blow for hours, dog. And I would be sitting there going, oh, my God, my arm is hurting, dog. Come on, Ant. He was like, come on, man, keep the tempo, man. You dropping your tempo, man. You dropping your tempo. And it'd just be me and Ant. And
really?
I swear to goodness.
Wow.
One time, this cat was just like, come on, man. And we were just in the practice room, and he would just make you just swing out. Like,
and his timing is so impeccable, man.
Dog.
Yeah.
He was trying to kill me, dog. I was like, man.
What he said? Well, when you got with Kenny Garrett,
you know what I mean?
Kenny worked, you know.
And that's crazy too, man. Kenny. Okay, so there was a club in Boston, Massachusetts called Wally's Cafe. And I got the gig there. I started, they had me there on Friday and Saturdays, which was perfect because that's when all the jazz cats would come to either Scullers or Ricotta Bar. So back then in the 90s, like I ain't know none of them cats. Mm-hmm. So what I would do was I would literally get on the phone and call the hotel rooms.
Really?
I would call the hotel rooms. I called Joshua Redmond. I was like, yo, Josh, hey, man, my name's John Lamkin, man. Would love for you to come to Wally's Cafe. He was like, oh, Wally. I was like, yeah, man, we over here hit, man. We hit every, young cats, man. We hit every Friday, Saturday. Love for you to come through. He was like, you know what? I think I might do that. I was like, all right, cool. I called Christian. I would call all the cats, and they would come through.
Really? Wow.
And the band at the time, you said who was at Berkeley with me? So the band at the time I was playing drums. It would be a cross between the two keyboard players. It was either Anthony Wanzi. I know Anthony. It was either Aaron Goldberg, or it was a guy named Craig. What was Craig's name? It'll come back to me, but it's Craig something. So, and it was those three players would play with us. Ruben Rogers would play bass.
That's my man.
Yeah, Ruben Rogers would play bass. And we had an array of saxophone players. Jimmy Green. I met this guy named Jimmy Green. Jimmy Green would drive from Connecticut. He was up at Hart School with Jackie Mack.
Okay.
He would drive down from Connecticut just to play with us on Friday and Saturday.
What did he play?
Saxophone, tenor player.
Okay.
Tenor player, Jimmy Green.
Oh, is that the cat whose daughter?
Yes, that's the cat whose daughter died.
Yeah.
Jimmy Green would drive from Hartford, Connecticut to come hit with us every Friday and Saturday. He would literally stay at my house. And then he'd go to Berkeley, and then he would just get a practice from the shed all day, meet us back at the gig. Our last show was on Saturday, and then he would just drive back to Connecticut.
Wow.
He would do that pretty much every week, right? Then there was Darren. Then Darren Barrett showed up. Jeremy Pelt. Jeremy Pelt was with me too. So I had Jeremy Pelt, and that was pretty much it.
Wow.
And on those nights that those cats would be at the Scullers and Regatta Bar, I would call them up and ask them to come by.
Wow.
I called Brian Blade up. I called Terrence Blanchard.
Wow.
I called all of them cats, and they
you
were
just a hustler.
Yeah, I was a hustler.
Yeah.
I would, man, because back then they would just tap you into their phones.
Yeah.
They would all come through the club. Kenny Garrett came through the club. Kenny Garrett came through the club with Chick Corea.
Wow.
And they stood in the side of the club, right off the corner of the club, and Chick was like this. And after we finished playing, I looked back, I said, Chick, would you want to sit in? He was like, yeah, sure. And my boy Richard Johnson was playing at the time. Richard Johnson, another keyboard player. Man, Chick Corea got up on that stage. It was me. I think it was.
Now, you don't get nervous without you weren't nervous
at that point. I mean, it was just another night at the club. You know what I mean? We just having fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, gotcha.
And shortly after that, Donald Harrison came through one year, and Donald was like, then Donald was leaving, and then he was like, yo, man, I got a tour, man. When you think you can do the tour? I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can do the tour.
Yeah.
And so next thing I know,
you on tour with Donald.
I'm on tour with Donald. You know what I mean? And then like years later, because Christian Scott, his nephew, Christian would come out and do the tours with us too. So and that was my little brother, man. I would always take my PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Christian would be in my room all night long. We would just be battling on the PlayStation.
And I didn't know, man, Donald Harrison had a relationship with Biggie Smalls, man.
Yeah. He used to live in the same block in Brooklyn. Same hotel complex. I think Donald lived upstairs. Biggie was downstairs.
Wow, man. Now, so you graduated from Berkeley?
Oh, you was asking who else was there? T. Oldros Avery.
T.S. my man.
T. Oldros was there. Anthony Wanzi was there. I'm fishing for. Let me see who else. Oh, Reuben Rogers was there. Darren Barrett. I know some names I'm forgetting right now. I'm sorry. Sorry, fellas, I forgot everybody's name. Kenya Hathaway was there. Boy, yeah.
That's enough. That's enough names.
Lil John Roberts was there.
Okay, John.
He was there. He was there the same year I came in. The same year he came in.
Wow.
John Roberts was there. It was a couple. It was some names up in that joint.
Yeah, man. You perform. You mentioned some of the people you perform with. Down here. How'd you get the Kenny Garrett gig?
Kenny came to Wally's. A lot of the stuff that I did came through Wally's, the Club Wally's. Kenny came to Club Wally's. He would just kind of sit in the corner and just be checking us out. And then he was like, "Yo, man, call me, man, call me." I was like, "Cool." So I exchanged numbers with him. I wanted that gig so bad. Like, you ever want something so bad?
A woman?
I want.
My bad. I had to go there.
I called, so I was proactive. I called Kenny, and like he wouldn't answer or whatever. He'd be out, whatever. Right? And finally, man, this cat called me like 1 o'clock in the morning one day. I was like, Kenny? He was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, is it too early to call you, man? It was too late, though." I was like, "Nah, I'm just watching TV." He was like, "Oh, man, I can't sleep, man. I'm a little jet lagged, da-da-da-da." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." He's like, "What's going on, man? How you doing, man? What's happening?" He just was shooting the shit, you know what I mean? And I was like, "Oh, man, everything good, man, da-da-da-da." He was like, "Oh, man." I said, "Man, I hear you, because he would invite cats over to his crib and play out in Jersey." I said, "Man, I keep hearing that you inviting cats over to the crib to play." He said, Yeah. I said, "Man, I'd love to come and hit." He was like, "You'll drive all the way down here to hit from Boston?" I was like, "Hell yeah." Hell yeah. He was like, "All right, cool, let's do it." So gave me a date. I was like, man, I was pumped. Then the date came and he was like, "Oh, Lamp, I'm gonna have to cancel." I was like, wow. I'm literally like maybe the night before. I was like, "Well, you need to give me another date, bro. Like, for real. You really want to come in on blah, blah, blah?" I was like, "Yeah, come on, Kenny." So he goes, "All right, man, you got a group that would come and hit?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I can get some cats together." He was like, "All right, cool. What you doing next week? Next so-and-so?" I was like, "I can ask around. Let me see what I can do." I got on the phone. I called my boy, bass player Vicente Archer. And I called Aaron Goldberg. Aaron plays with Joshua Redman.
Yeah.
And Vicente been playing with Robert Glasper forever. I called both of them. They was like, "Kenny? Oh, yeah, let's go." I was like, "All right, cool." Aaron was the only one that had a car. So Aaron was like, "All right, man, we can drive up there." I was like, "All right, cool." Man, we driving up there. We listen to almost every Kenny record. Like, we just, dog, we was three pumped up cats. You know what I'm saying? Get to Kenny's house. Before we even touched the doorbell, I was like, "Yo, look, y'all might hear some stuff I ain't never played before." Yo, like, I'm going for broke. I'm going for broke. You know what I mean? I told him, cats, he was like, "All right, Lamp, we with you. We with you." Man, we went in there. I think I may have shook Kenny's hand, like, "All right, cool, where the drums at?" He was like, "Oh, over there. I was like, "All right, cool." Set my stuff up. Like, what we doing? I had that game face. I wasn't even smiling, bro. I was serious. You know what I mean? Dog, I was dead serious, man. And I think we just started playing something, right? We just hitting what up, and the vibe was just right. Kenny was standing over there. He was like, next thing you know, I was like, whoa! I'm like, yo, every time that cat would play something, I was like, bam, bam. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, come on, let's get it. Bruh, dog, that was the best house session I've ever had in my life. We recorded it.
Really?
Back then that was cassettes. Man, let me tell you something. Oh, Jalil Shaw was there too.
Ooh, that's my man.
Let me tell you something, yo. When we got back to Berkeley, and Cass was like, "How'd it go?" I was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this." We would go in people's room, crank up this cassette. Everybody was like, yo, Cass was freaking out, yo.
You still got the record?
Heck yeah, you bro, come on. Cass was freaking out.
Wow.
Dog, bruh. I shit you not, dog. That cassette got recorded so many times.
Wow.
And was distributed all around Berkeley. Everybody had that recording.
Really? Wow, that's crazy.
Because they was like blown away, like, yo, y'all killing on this joint. Killing. And then shortly after, Kenny was like, I came after Chris Day. Hey, man, you think you can make this tour? I was like, yeah. Oh, you know what's fun? Well, I take that back. This cat, then shortly after that, I moved to Jersey.
Okay.
I lived literally down the street from Kenny. I lived down the street. Kenny would, when I told Kenny, I was
that
like,
purposely?
No.
Okay,
It was just it made more sense because where I was right over the Union, right across the Union. Kenny would literally go, "Lamp, what you doing today, man?" I was like, "Chilling." Come on over. I was like, all right, cool. First couple times it was great. You know, come over. It just be drums and Kenny, just me, and Kenny and I. Boom, boom, boom. After about a month of that, you know what I mean? Because anytime Kenny was in town, like, yo, Lamp, what you doing?
Yeah.
I was like, come on over. I was like,
God. Yeah, where you at, huh?
Dog.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, we was shedding all the music. He never called me for a gig, and it was already months.
Yeah.
Like, literally months. He still hadn't called me, bro. I was like, but he would call me to come and rehearse.
Gotcha.
You know what it remind me of? You remember Wax On, Wax Off. Wax On, Wax Off.
Yeah.
Show me Paint the Fence.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, I'm not doing this no more, man. You know, and I literally got to the point where Kenny would call. I'm not bullshit. Kenny would call, and as soon as I saw the number, because he would call in the morning, I was like, come over. Yo, man, come on over, man, let's hit. You know what I mean? And it'd be all day. He'd take up your whole day.
Wow.
And it was almost, I swear to goodness, it was like Karate Kid. And then finally it was like, show me Paint the Fence. And I was like,
yeah.
It's like, now we got a gig. And it was like, yo, man, you think you can make this tour? I was like, yes. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. And so, man, we went.
That's a great story, man.
Bro. Oh boy, that was something else right there, boy. Them days with Kenny.
We winding down, brother.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Just got to touch on. You played with Abbey Lincoln?
Man, what a
Talk to the
beautiful
people,
time, bro.
What was that like?
So Mark Carey.
Uh-huh.
Mark Carey hooked me up with the gig. Abbey. My first gig was, I gotta say, New York, something like that. And she was just a sweetheart. She was a sweetheart, bro. It was so much fun playing with her, man. It was like a mother, bro. It was like you know what I mean? Like, oh man, it was Mark Carey hooked me up with that gig. John Ormond was playing bass. We ended up doing. Had a little small mini tour. We did like Scholars, little spots in Boston. But the big one was when we did the Lincoln Center.
Wow.
We did the Lincoln Center. It was like, I want to say it was some kind of celebration for her. I have to go look back at the paperwork. And that one had like Joe Lovano on it.
Wow.
It had oh man, I can't remember all of it. It was such a big.
So man, music treated you good. Huh?
Oh man, I don't complain. I'm not complaining at all. And jazz alone.
Yeah, and I remember we were doing something. You played with Benny Golson.
Yes.
And what's the story about Along Came Betty? I wanted to get.
Well, yeah. So a lot of people, for some crazy reason, think Betty was his wife. Betty was not. His wife's name is Bobby.
Okay.
All right. So Betty came, you know, like way before Bobby did. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, the way he would say it was like, Bobby was very upset about that song for a long time until them checks came in. You know, and a couple furs and a couple mink coats. You know,
no doubt.
She's like, that's one of my favorite songs, man.
What was the experience like, though?
Oh man, I miss that cat, man.
Yeah,
that cat was. He was just just a loving cat, bro. He was just something special, bro.
When I met him, he had that quality. Yeah.
He's one of them cats. You know, he's not one of them cats that, you know, just. There was nothing negative he would ever. I've never felt any negativity around him. It was always a positive vibe.
Gotcha.
Like if I show you some emails that he sent me, he was just like, man, and I had the greatest time with this fantastic drummer oh wait, I'm actually emailing him. It's
Wow.
it's you, and I'm like, you know what I mean? So like, I'm literally thinking about taking some of those emails and like blowing them up and putting them in a poster,
share it with the people,
and like putting them out
Yeah.
because. I mean, some of the stuff he would say was just like, yeah, man, he's something special, dog.
Yeah. So music has treated you good.
Very.
You've been blessed and highly favored.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You still doing? It's still.
Even church on every Sunday morning, 7:45. I'm active. You know what I mean? So I'll jump right off a church gig, play some jazz.
You never. So I know some people like to just be in the music. You never wanted do you have your own recordings and all that? You do?
I actually recorded a song for Najee.
Okay.
Yeah, Najee.
We got check. Okay.
My boy Kevin Walker, bass player. He had his company, and Najee came to his house one day to work on some new music. Kevin called me up and was like, "Yo, I need you to come over and bring some stuff." I was like, "All right, cool." I brought like 2 or 3 tracks, and this one when I plugged it up and played it, everybody in the room was like, "Oh, damn, what's this?"
Yeah.
Right? Najee was there. He was like, "How'd the melody go?" So it was just a little quick melody. He was like, "I think that's it. That's it."
Wow.
Next thing I know, they recorded. And I still see my BMI checks to this day.
Really? Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And here's another thing that's crazy. That song, he ended up getting Roy Ayers to play on it.
Wow.
And Roy just
So it's gonna be Wow.
And so
you never wanted. Do you have a straight ahead piece under your name?
No.
You never wanted. You never wanted to do nothing like that.
I'm about to cough. Sorry about that. I just never did it.
Okay.
I just never did it. Actually, no, this is a crazy story. Chick Corea had actually came down to Wally's and heard the band and wanted to sign the band.
Wow.
And the band was Darren Barrett, Jimmy Green, Aaron Goldberg, Ruben Rogers, and myself.
Wow.
And it would have been under the John Lamkin Quartet or whatever.
Wow.
And he had a whole backstory about it. He was like, I met these cats at the club in Boston, blah, blah, blah. And he was going to sell it like that.
Uh-huh.
But it just never
materialized.
It just never materialized. But.
Wow, man. Great stories, man. We got final questions.
Yes, sir.
First of all, what's next for John Lamkin III?
I've been doing these hip hop projects. Like I got this I got a show, and I call it the Golden Years of Hip Hop. Where I have 3 MCs. And basically we do rap songs in chronological. Am I saying chronological order?
Yeah.
From 1979 with Sugar Hill all the way down to about 2012, something like that. It's almost impossible to get all the bangers in the show.
Yeah.
So the way I did it was I have it set up like you got to come to the show. It's pretty slamming.
Let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically what we do is we just go through a whole show of hip hop, and it's just. And the crowd loses it every time we do it. It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And my production team, I have a production team now, so we got like
So you don't have, do you have a day job?
No, this is what I do. This is it.
Wow.
Yeah,
And you've been, life is good for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very. Yeah.
You thankful?
I love it. Thank you. Lord Jesus, you've been there for me, baby. You know,
Last question.
I think my first day job, the last job I had was in Boston. My father was like, when I got my apartment, my father was like, son, I'm only paying 1 month. I was like, what? He was like, I'm only paying 1 month.
Yeah.
You're gonna take care. I said, what am I supposed to do? You're gonna have to get a job. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on, Dad. He was like, no, you're gonna have to get a job.
Yeah.
And I was working at a grocery store. And then, but right after that grocery store, right around that time working in the grocery store, I ended up getting that gig at Wally's Cafe. And so once I got the gig at Wally's Cafe,
you ain't look back.
That's it. I close them doors. You know?
Wow. Last question.
Yes, sir.
How can people that want to learn about what you're doing, how can they get in contact with you? You can look at them.
Look at that camera right there. J.R. Lamkin III on Instagram. You can look me up on pretty much Instagram, Facebook, all of those places. I'm there. You know what I mean? So yeah. Definitely look for me, find me, holla at your boy.
My man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you, man. I'm glad you was able to do. I'm glad we was able to get you.
Yeah.
Man,
for
great
sure.
stories.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
this was real fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
Mr. John Lamkin III, right here on A Conversation in Jazz.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you on the next one.